mic. Check 1, 2, 3. What's up? You know what we talking? We ain't playing over here at LFG. Haters gonna say, we from LFG, boy. We take you to the moon.
Hello and welcome, folks, to episode 17 of Mission Control, where we are going to talk about games, tournaments, and platforms, including a very special guest from Helix. And Helix Games is the game distribution, discovery, and development platform to reach the next 2 billion gamers. And we have a pre-recorded interview with Patrick from Helix. So, without further ado, let's just see it instead of listening to me talk. Oops. Okie dokie. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. This is a pre-recorded segment about Helix. We had to pre-record it due to some time constraints, but we do understand you guys want this to be as seamless and natural as possible, so we're only doing one take. And without further ado, Patrick Bergman. Patrick, how are you doing, man? How have you been? I know I just seen you, I feel like last week, but it's been too long.
I'm doing good, Mark. I'm doing good. It's been too long since our time at Gallup. It's glad to be here. Glad to talk to everybody on the stream.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to see you. And honestly, kind of weird seeing you without a backwards ball cap on. But I respect that.
I gotta mix it up every once in a while. Keep you on your toes.
Okay, so again, without further ado, man, let's hear about Helix. Let's hear about what's going on.
Yeah, no, so we've been building Helix in one way or the other, gosh, for a year and a half, 2 years now. And, we've collectively as a leadership team, all been in games for anywhere between 15 to, 45 years in the industry. And, one of the things that we have observed over that time is fundamentally the way that gamers are interacting with games and game-related content is drastically different than it was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? Rewind, 20 years, 20 plus years, and, you're going to a store to buy a boxed product and, installing it either with floppy disks or CDs or whatever it may be. Then we entered the age of digital distribution with the likes of Steam and Epic Games Store. And then, over the last 10 years, we've seen this massive adoption of streaming content, right? And, what's super interesting to us is the way that Gen Z and Gen A are really engaging and discovering game content is via their favorite influencers and KOLs. And, when you look at kind of the current state of platforms in the gaming ecosystem, they're largely siloed and disparate. Nobody has actually pulled all of the what I call the holy trinity of gaming together, right? At the top of the pyramid, 100% have the players, right? The players are the most important part of the ecosystem. But on the other side of the triangle, you now have influencers. On the other corner of the triangle, you've got developers, right? And if you looked at the current landscape, we've got developers developing in largely Unity and Unreal. You've got the developers also leveraging the distribution platforms, be it Stream or Epic Games Store. And you've got the influencers on the other side that are largely engaged through Twitch or YouTube. And then you have the players who are jumping all over the place to access the game, the content they want. So at Helix, what we've been building over the last couple years is an integrated platform that brings all of those pieces of the puzzle together and creates a really intuitive and easy to understand platform and ecosystem. And, you know, having been in games for 20, 25 years myself, both on the Web 2 and Web 3 side, we also saw a huge opportunity to support both of those ecosystems, right? Like, I don't think anybody would argue that today, you know, Web 2 is still the largest ecosystem when it comes to games, and Web 3 is trying to find its footing in the space and, you know, evolving over time. So as we built this platform, we built both Web 2 and Web 3 in mind. You know, we'll be supporting e-commerce solutions for both, but the whole onboarding process for getting into the Helix platform is very akin to a Steam or Epic Games Store, where you do a single sign-on or create your account, boom, you're in. There's none of these arduous steps of having to go through, you know, 15, 16 different steps to create a wallet and or connect a wallet or do any of that. For the Web3 natives, certainly there's the ability to do that, but most of the Web2 players don't care, don't want to be bothered by that. So, you know,
good luck explaining the seed phrase to a newcomer.
Yeah, I mean, so for us, it's all about leveraging the best of Web3 to create this platform that unifies the ecosystem all into one. And, you know, we look at the platform really across three different vectors, right? Developers need to develop. So we've created an in-house development engine with our partners at Hybrid 3D. It's an incredibly small but powerful engine. I think it's under 800 kilobytes in size. It's browser native, custom engine, works in Telegram, works in WhatsApp. Very akin to Roblox, but I think far more extensible given the relative size of that engine and the framework that they've built in terms of their editor that allows people to create their own contents and game. So we've got the Hybrid engine that helps developers develop. We've got the platform that helps developers distribute the game. And then we have the influencers that help drive discoverability with the player base, all integrated. What you'll see behind me is one of our, well, actually, there's two of our titles that we've built. You'll see Chrono Shots and you'll see Voyager Ascension. But what's interesting here is we're not just unifying the ecosystem. We're giving everybody more tools and more resources for less than that they would typically pay on something like Steam. Given our whole platform is built on top of a decentralized physical infrastructure, we're built on top of the Datagram substrate. We're able to operate more cost effectively than some of the incumbents. So where you would see a 30% rev share or 12+% rev share with Steam and Epic Games Store reflectively, we're aiming to offer all of what we've created at a reduced fee structure. So we're coming out and initially targeting a 10% platform fee. But what's even more interesting, and you'll see it in this video, is for influencers, we have some patented technology we call digital doubles. So with your phone or with one of the booths you'll see here, this is a full mocap booth, but we have a number of booths that do just facial scans. You could snap some pictures with your phone, record your voice reading a script, upload that. You have a digital likeness that now looks like you and talks like you. Why that's interesting for influencers is it allows them to actually engage their audience 24/7. We give them a bunch of criteria and toggles, not only to educate their AI agent, but then to specify specific objectives or goals. But it allows for some really interesting tokenization opportunities on the Web3 side of things for influencers to give them vectors not only for engagement, but also monetization within their ecosystem. So that alone is pretty cool. But what's even more exciting is we've got some patent pending tech that allows these AI agents to be game aware. So what you'll see actually in this video as one of the AI agents is playing Chrono Shot, that's actually the AI agent narrating her own play session and actually engaging the audience when they ask questions about what they're doing. So that's pretty cool. That technology can also be leveraged by the developers. If the developers wanted to create AI guides that they license, include, sell, whatever form the developers want to leverage that tech for, they could create AI agents that are digital guides. As you're playing a game, you ask it a question that can provide some hints or directions as to what to do. They can also use it for FATUIs or onboarding experiences for their players. So the AI tech is, I think, super extensible. I think a bunch of really interesting applications too, as we think about esports and potentially having AI agents announce esports tournaments. I think the applications are pretty interesting. But I think the sleeper element of the platform here is when you have players and developers and influencers all in the same ecosystem, you can start to do a ton of really interesting things. One of the biggest things developers struggle with once they release their game is discoverability, right? And I think we all collectively agree at this point that discoverability nowadays is largely driven by influencers and KOLs. I've got 6 kids running around the house upstairs. That's how the bulk of them find their games, is watching their favorite influencers. And so on our platform, given we have everybody there, when I as a developer launch my title, the Helix platform is able to make recommendations as to what influencers already on the platform would be the best to partner with, and can directly connect and help support getting those games in the influencer's hands to help drive discoverability.
Oh, that is very interesting.
On top of that, when you've got both of those parties on the same platform, the amount of analytics and data tracking that we can do is really unparalleled, right? Because as a developer, if I hire an influencer and they're on Twitch and YouTube, there's certainly some integrations, but the amount of data and vectors of data I can track is inherently limited. When they're on the platform, the players, the influencers, and the developers, you can start to track a lot of other additional data points that we believe are going to help drive retention, engagement, and ultimately, general excitement and growth. So, we're really excited. We're getting pretty close to launching this. The Hyperworld game engine is actually already out there. Go to the website. We'll share a link. You can see it. You can play around with it. The larger platform we're aiming to launch here in the next few months. But leading up to that, coming relatively soon, we're going to be pushing our node sale live. And for us, like I said before, we're built on top of the Datagram substrate. And these nodes are going to help us operate this platform efficiently at scale and allow us to reward the community, reward the players, reward the developers and the influencers with a far more fair platform fee and revenue share than everybody out there. Because our goal is, let's leverage Web3 technology to create value for everybody as opposed to extract it. So we're super excited. We're going to be sharing a ton more information, over the coming weeks. But keep an eye out for the node sale and the information. We'd love to have the community supporting us, supporting the platform, and vis-a-vis the gaming community as a whole.
Yes, absolutely. And we do have a link for everyone. So go ahead and join our Discord. Patrick, you can point
Yes,
up.
please join the Discord. The community is growing. We're actively in there, engaging, talking. Love people's feedback as we share more. The whole premise of this platform is built by gamers for gamers. And the more voices and the more constructive feedback we can get, the better, because we're all in this together.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, this is the conversation I sort of come back to. Because people don't think, I don't think people realize how badly they've been mistreated, whether they are a developer, whether they are a gamer or a KOL. And we could talk about the bad examples ad nauseum here, but I want to sort of bring the better side here just to draw a comparison between what is and what could be. So if we're talking about a game that's doing super well and it's sort of included the not necessarily tokenized, but database items and sort of what the NFTs in these games should work like. And I do want to talk about Counter Strike and all the skins and etc. And I think they just hit like a $4 billion market cap like a few weeks ago. But anyway, I digress. My point is, if you are an artist and you go through the selection process and your skin ends up being in the game, ends up being added, you get a lump sum of cash. And I don't think you get any more royalties from the skin and all the resales. A majority of that sum goes back to Valve, I think, and it's an outrageous percentage of the sale. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is while Valve is handling this incredibly well, they are treating their artists well, they're treating their user base fairly well. It could be just so much better. There would be ways to just spread the love so everyone could get the benefit as opposed to just a tiny few. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you're muted, Patrick.
Nope, I don't think so. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
No, I mean, I think you're spot on. The way I look at it, right? Valve, I think, typically does anywhere between $7 to $10 billion of revenue a year, right?
Yep.
They have 300 plus, somewhere between 300 and 400 employees the last time I counted. That's an astronomical sum of money they are pulling in every day. Astronomical,
Yep.
right? And you could argue that they're providing an invaluable service to the developers in terms of the platform and the reach they have. I don't think anybody could argue they certainly have the reach, but I think there's an opportunity to be far more fair and equitable with the people on the platform, right? Like my view is and my hope is when I'm long gone and dead, that the community is continuing to operate the Helix platform, and it is the to-go place for anybody that wants to launch a game, any influencer that wants to create content and engage with players and engage with developers. And it continues to operate in perpetuity while giving everybody a fair shake and the biggest opportunity to be successful, because the whole industry, I've worked on some of the biggest franchises in history. Those all make a crap ton of money, but the smaller developers out there that are struggling to get their games discovered and to make a living, like we can do so much better, and we should do better, and that's why we've built what we have.
Yes, exactly. And I want to reiterate sort of a little bit what you've talked about the platform being live and being operated by the community years, decades from now onward. And the hypothetical discussion about the platform just going down and everything you own going up in smoke. These conversations are incredibly hypothetical, but we have seen certain examples of something similar happening where it is no longer profitable for a game developer, for a publisher to keep the game on the marketplace, or maybe some sort of a contract, some sort of a license runs out, and these things are just pulled out from the store. These things just disappear from your libraries, and it had happened not only to games but also to other media like TV shows. I know Discovery had a similar incident with the PlayStation Store where a lot of their shows were pulled, and whether or not you paid for them, whether or not you thought you owned them, doesn't necessarily matter because they no longer exist on the platform where you paid for them. And just how nice it would be to, again, I guess I'm just circling back to the entire true ownership bit, but that's sort of what it's all about, isn't it? Just the true ownership, the ability to run these things in perpetuity, to give people
Yeah,
the power back.
yeah, and I think there's a ton of really interesting projects, right? That certainly we're trying to create an immortal platform with Helix, supported by the Node ecosystem of the community. But there's also people doing similar things on the game side of the house, right? Like the Tashi protocol with their kind of immortal games badge, I think is a brilliant idea, right? And they're creating immortal titles that don't need mainline support or server infrastructure a la AWS that cost a ton of money. They're creating games that are self-sustained by the community, and have created a really compelling protocol to support that. We see companies like Beamable. I think they raised what, 13-14 million dollars not too long ago to create decentralized infrastructure for server authoritative infrastructure for games, right? So I think a lot of people are moving that way, and I think it's going to be an amazing world in 5-10 years from now, when you have a platform like Helix that's supported and run and operating at scale to help these developers launch their game, to help the influencers drive discoverability of the game. And then the games themselves have essentially become immortal and are no longer hamstrung with incredibly high server costs, which allows them to continue to run. And then you start to think about user-generated content and how that starts to get integrated in more meaningful ways for these immortal titles. Like, it's amazing. Like, if I could bring back one of my favorite MMOs, like City of Heroes, like tomorrow, I would do it. And it's something long term. I would love to explore, even potentially with the community. I think the future is really exciting for games, but it's going to take some bold and scary moves to get there. But we're already starting to walk down that trail. So it's exciting.
It's exciting, also super difficult, because trailblazing really only sounds cool and easy when you talk about it after the fact. But while you're in the trenches, I have a feeling it's a little different.
Yeah, it's not for the weak-hearted. A lot of hours, but when you're excited about what you do, I always hated, do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I don't think that's true. Do something you love, and the work feels meaningful and motivates you, as opposed to demotivating you, right? Like, yeah. It's a ton of hours, but you wake up excited and motivated to go back to your desk and get cranking away again. And it's been a long road. It will continue to be a long road, but I'm excited where we're headed.
Well, we're also excited. We're very much looking forward to these next developments that are coming soon. And I think it's about time I let you go, because I think we're running up on time, if we're not over yet.
Perfect.
All right, sweet.
Well, Mark, I appreciate it. Good to see you again, and nice to virtually see you on the time delay community. But looking forward to chatting with y'all more.
Absolutely, we'll see you guys around.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, and I am back. This is real me. This is no longer recording. And before we move on to the next topic, this very much just in, a very important bit of information I just got a permission to share, so listen very carefully, because Gala Founder node owners will be able to claim a Helix node when the time comes. So go on and join the Helix Discord so you don't miss out on this opportunity. And I do have one more thing to share that I just got my hands on, courtesy of Guru Lanius, and allow me to just bring this on screen right here for everyone to see, because this News and announcements, always good to have. Pinned in the sidebar. New game releases. I just got a ping about the music. I did tune it down a little bit. My apologies. I did just get my hands on the video. We got a marketplace all in one spot. Oh, I was wondering if it's a real asset. Looks like it's a placeholder. It's a cool looking placeholder though. And the game store itself. Got some placeholder games. Seeing some that look like real titles. Oh, there's a Helix demo game. And the game library. Oh. Okay, launches straight from the website. One less app to download. I'm a fan. Helix demo game. Love me a platformer. The in-game overlays. Show session time. Interesting. And the browser access. Friends list. Oh, Liam. Alright, looks like that's it for the demo. Again, thank you, Grulanius, for providing this information and the juicy bit we just shared a little earlier, and I'm going to repeat it again because it is a very important bit of information. When the time comes, Gala founder node operators will be able to claim Helix nodes, so make sure to go and join the Helix Discord so you don't miss out, because I would hate to miss out. And our next topic of discussion, we got MetaFlora, because as always, MetaFlora has been busy and we got a brand new partnership to talk about. And it is MetaFlora x Earthlings Music, because they too have officially teamed up on Afterlife OG collection, and every single NFT in this collection will earn Flora on daily basis. And now this partnership announcement comes with a few things you should know about so that you can take advantage of what is going on, and maybe you could win yourself a fancy legacy node. So instead of me just talking about this, we do have a video. So let me just play it right here, right now.
Introducing the Earthlings Afterlife OG collection with very special guests and very big rewards. We got 100 XRP going out to 5 lucky winners. We got 2 legacy node giveaways from MetaFlora, packed with royalties and revenue that go back to OGs and future collaborations, plus a free airdrop instrumental with full commercial rights. Pre-sale May 19th, public sale May 23rd. Let's build together, y'all.
Okay, so with all that said, head over to the MetaFlora Discord for all of the details and hows, so you can participate, so you can be a part of what's going on, and again, maybe get yourself a fancy legacy node along with some merch and a few other things like XRP. And next topic of discussion, we got Valley. Because since last we spoke, there were more than just a few updates from Valley ecosystem and their arcade. Sorry, just reading the comments coming in. Devik and Bob, hello. The drop does look really good, not gonna lie. I do love me a PFP NFT more so. But back to Valley. So a whole lot of updates, and each and every one of these updates is very important to the entirety of the ecosystem and all of its users. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the first and that is going to be the Valley Arcade cabinets. Because the Valley Arcade cabinets are now in pre-order phase, meaning you can get your order in right now and get the actual cabinet in mail sometime this summer. And let's talk about the features, because while the cabinets themselves are completely plug and play with pretty screaming nuclear punk ladies and flying saucers on the side, there's just a lot more to them than that, because the cabinets themselves were professionally manufactured by the Fun Company, ensuring great quality and longevity for every Valley cabinet out there. And as of today, we do know that these arcade cabinets are going to ship with at least 6 games, with the rest of the Valley Arcade titles coming in the near future. And this next bit is very important because it has everything to do with us, the people who play the games on the platform, because the ticket earnings on the arcade cabinets are going to be different from the web arcade and what we've used to. Meaning, the arcade cabinets are going to earn at an astounding rate of 5.3 times higher than the web arcade, and just what we've been used to. And if you own one of the first 500 nodes that were sold, you're getting your hands on a DIY Valley Arcade cabinet kit that will allow you to put together your own cabinet that will provide the same earnings of 5.3 times of the web arcade. And as of now, there are 105 of these left, with only 5 in the current tier at $375 a pop, so make sure to go check them out. And, well, Mr. Drink Your OJ, that's what I was told. 5.3%. Oh, well, not percent. 5.3 times of the web arcade. I thought it was just 5, but they specified 5.3 times. Anyway, now for the more important part. I do want to talk about the price, because again, if you're going to be buying something, I feel like concept is very important. While commercial arcade cabinets are incredibly expensive, Valley had done everything in their power to lower the price in an effort to make sure there are more of these Valley Arcade cabinets out there for everyone to enjoy. And here is what we know so far. Traditional commercial arcade cabinets, as you know them, are extremely expensive for a variety of reasons. Anything from the actual hardware costs, because a lot of the parts and pieces and bits and bobs for these arcade cabinets are unique in comparison to the things you could reuse in traditional electronics, and again, expensive all the way to licensing rights when it comes to bigger titles like anything that has to do with Nintendo. I'm assuming Angry Birds is in the same boat, Jurassic Park, etc., etc. So let's make a quick comparison so we sort of know what's going on and where the prices are. There's a very popular arcade cabinet / machine. It's about a big fish and its wheel that you can spin in the sort of a Price is Right style, so it literally just spins out this way. I don't want to share the image on screen because I'm sort of maybe not necessarily talking about them the way they want to be talked about. But all this machine does is let you spin the wheel, and the wheel determines how many tickets you get out of it. That's literally all of the gameplay. That's literally all the machine does. And I see this machine in literally every arcade I walk into. It could be Dave & Buster's. It could be a smaller backroom arcade at like a bowling hole. I see it absolutely everywhere. And the kicker is the fact that this machine will cost you $22,000 for a single game of just spinning a wheel and getting tickets out of it, which is sort of like kind of pseudo gambling, but I'm not going to get into all of that, whatever. And again, these prices are super typical for commercial arcade machines. And with all that said, Valley has got your back, because the Valley Arcade cabinets only cost $5,500, and the cherry on top is the promo code for Valley. The promo code that Valley is running right now. Sorry, it was a mouthful. So the nifty promo code, Friends 2025, all together, all caps. By using it, you can get a whole $1,000 off, bringing your price per cabinet to $4,500. Get the quality of the arcade cabinets you know so well at a fraction of the cost, and with a whole lot of games, and absolutely more games than an average arcade cabinet is willing to offer. And there's also an option to reserve a cabinet with a deposit of $22.50, or if you're looking for a big boy ODC purchase, you can always reach out to the Valley team via the email pinned on screen. It's right there on the bottom of the image. And yeah, you could also reach out to them in Discord. Super responsive. That's the place you want to be anyway for all of the updates and what's going on with Valley. But that is not just it, because we got 2 more big things to go through here. So let me just close a few things right here on the side. Okay, so if you folks had thought that this was the biggest update on everything that's happening with Valley, I'm going to stop you right there, because what you're seeing on screen right now is a leak from Johnny himself. And this leak is of the second Valley X-Star Atlas game that's being worked on right now. And there's not a lot we know about the game. We don't even know the name of it just yet. But from what we're seeing right now, the game looks fairly straightforward. You pilot a spaceship, you light up the enemies while avoiding their projectiles, a good old-fashioned bullet hell with power-ups, levels, and a few bars on the UI that I don't entirely know what they do, but I'm hoping we will learn in the near future. And folks, keep in mind, this is the very first time we're seeing the game, so it's all in development. I'm assuming most of the stuff you see on screen, all of the graphics, are just placeholders that will be eventually replaced. So don't get too attached, because things are going to get better, stronger, faster from this point on. But both this game and Spinfire are going to be a part of Star Atlas. They're going to be featured in game one way or another. And from what I've heard so far, there just might be a Valley Arcade cabinet inside Star Atlas where you'll be able to interact with these games, maybe other Valley games. But we'll see what they figure out, because in the end of the day, it is entirely up to them. Now, speaking of big updates for Valley and everything that's going on, we got one more. And we got a new game. It dropped fairly recently. The game is called Mine All Mine, and the game has been added with ticket earning capabilities intact, like all of the other Valley Arcade titles. And there isn't a real reason for me to emphasize this, because it just works every time, outside of the fact that having a brand new game with everything working is just awesome. But anyway, let's talk about the actual game, because Mine All Mine is a match 3 game with a spin. Because you get to collect gems, you set up combos, you raise your multiplier, and extend the fuse to make your run longer, to really get your place on the leaderboard. We did play it on stream, I believe, last week. And in my personal opinion, the gameplay is very fluent, and the game manages to capitalize on the incremental arcade gameplay elements extremely well. Because you start with 3 types of gems. Oh, let me just... Excuse me. Let me just make sure this does not disappear off screen. So, you start with 3 types of gems. You can see them on the right side of the screen. And because there are only 3 of them, it is incredibly easy to make a match. So in the first minute or 2 of your gameplay, the matches will be super easy. They will be making themselves. You're going to see some very long combos, a lot of good multipliers. You will be extending your run, and the more you play, the more gem types are unlocked, all the way up to 6, making it a little more difficult to progress further on. And due to the fact that the game is structured in a way where it's super fast-paced in the beginning and it slows down towards the end, it sort of circumvents the classic arcade game highway blindness, where you come out of a, let's say, 15-minute run where the game is super fast. There is everything going on screen, like in chain blocks, the pieces fly by too fast, and then once you drop into the new game, everything is sort of too slow, and you have to bear through the initial phases of the game to get to the faster pace that you're used to. But Mine All Mine circumvents all of that, because you start with a faster pace and then it gradually slows down, so it's easier for you to keep up when the game gets progressively more difficult. But anyway, the game is live right now. You can go and check it out, and you can start playing. You can start getting your tickets, so go do that right now. And yeah, we're not done with Valley. I do have one more bit of information on what Valley has been doing. So I see Chair Bennett sending messages, but before that, yeah, see, this guy gets it. Drink your OJ. The extra 0.3 is incredibly important. I agree with that. That 5 green gem going missed repeatedly in the 4th column is driving me nuts. Listen, man, Chair Bandit, I've never even seen you play the game, so I don't think you really like, you know. So maybe turn up on the stream, maybe show some heart, maybe play these games with us, and then we'll talk about green gems. And I'm seeing Portuguese Even Wave as always. Hello, hello. So now for the last bit of news, and it is by all means just as exciting as the other topics we have covered. Okay, Chair Bandit is just talking smack in chat. Somebody, you know what? I'm gonna, folks, allow me to check the leaderboard just to make sure. Yeah, you're not Cubby. Chair Bandit, you are not Cubby. Oh, 1 second. Okay, anyway, Chair Bandit is not Cubby, did not trust him. He will try to trick you. He will try to get your chairs. But yeah, we're back. We're back to the updates. We're back to talking about how awesome Valley is. And okay, never mind. We're not back because I'm getting distracted in chat here. Turns out Chair Bandit was Cubby Bandit this entire time, and Even Wave backs him up. You can see it right here. But this is Even Wave's evil twin, so I'm having a hard time believing either of them. And again, back to the updates, because this last bit is also very important, also very pivotal to what is going on with Valley ecosystem, because Valley weekly tournaments are now here. And the way they work is very simple. Weekly tournaments refresh every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and each week they will feature a random Valley title, with the first tournament being Spinfire, and it is happening right now and is going to wrap up tomorrow, which is Wednesday, when the new one is going to kick off. Now, as for the details on the actual tournament, it takes 100 tickets to enter, and you get unlimited token play runs for the week while you are in tournament mode. And the top 10 scorers at the end of the week will split the prize pot. The payouts are sent out at the end of the tournament cycle. And the 100 tickets that you spent on the entry are split 3 ways. 5% goes to the game developer, 5% goes to Valley, and 90% is paid out to the top 10 players. And I want to circle back really quick, because the tournament mode and leaderboard mode are two different things. So if you want to get your daily distribution for the game and participate in the tournament, you have to do both. So do not get that twisted. Do not miss out on your daily distro. And that's it for Valley. We're running up on the hour, and I'm just going to call it today because it is just me. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. We got a Valley stream coming this Thursday, so stay tuned for details. And there's a whole lot happening. So make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, hit that like button. We'll be seeing you soon. Okay, bye.